I'll introduce myself. Good morning, members of the legislative branch. For the record, my name is Michael Hawk. I'm Director of Indian People's Action. I'm an enrolled member of the Crow Tribe. I'm here today on behalf of Indian People's Action. Indian People's Action is a statewide community organization working on social, economic, racial, and environmental issues statewide. Indian People's Action is a socially and racially diverse organization of low to moderate income Native Montanans. Founded in 1996 by Janet Rubidoux, an enrolled member of the Northern Cheyenne. She founded this organization because there was a lot of institutional racism, racial profiling in the urban areas. So we do a lot of work in the urban areas. And if you guys want, I've got a lot of storybooks we put together to basically express and how we get out to the media. But really today, why I'm here is because of the voting rights issue. I don't know if a lot of you've seen it already, but I sent a lot of emails into Canute and Dookie. And it's a Section 2 violation. This satellite, it's in the Montana Code annotated that the tribes were never notified that these satellite offices could have been a while back established. But of course, it never came to light until Four Directions came in. Four Directions is another organization in South Dakota that does a lot of GOTV, which is Get Out the Vote. And what they did in the state of South Dakota is they opened up 3 reservations to satellite offices. They accomplished it. And these satellite offices are actually early voting, absentee voting sites, which gives 19 days for individuals to go and vote in an election, general election. Right now, in the heart of Kitewachila, Bighorn County has 19 days where they vote. Wachila, farmers, ranchers, you know, they can go to the courthouse, 19 days, the whole 19 days up to the general election. These people go in and vote at the courthouse. And when Four Directions came in all honesty, I'm friends with O.J. Siemens, and we're always talking, you know, about urban issues, tribal issues. Right now, they're a big voting rights organization that does a lot of GOTV, like I said. So where we're at today, right now, is with a lot of pro bono attorneys, including ACLU. You got people from National Congress for American Indians. We've got a lot of people helping. And in this lawsuit, we've got 6 Crow tribal plaintiffs. And it's really sad how the local counties never really took the time, and your county commissioners took the time to come in and say, hey, this can be accomplished. And on the average, we have anywhere from a minimum of 5,000 to about 13,000 per tribe here in the state of Montana. Think what can be done if each individual tribal member over 18 comes in and votes. And the satellite office is basically, the proposed site would be here in Crow. And our tribal members all come to Crow to do their business with the IHS, the BIA, and the tribe. And where the fight is right now is these 3 tribes are suing the state of Montana, Linda McCullough, and the 3 counties, Bighorn County, Rosebud County, Bladen County. And it's been a fight since 2012. We've been in this. We've been supporting 4 Directions. We've been helping however we can help. And where we're at today is just the other day, I don't know if any of you guys seen the Billings Gazette, but Linda McCullough was trying to back out of this lawsuit. They had already given her a chance last year in April, on April 9th, I think it was. I was there at the meeting. The Montana Wyoming tribal leaders approached Linda McCullough, George Quintana, and basically asked them, you know, kindly go out the back door, withdraw yourself from this lawsuit. But she didn't do it. We went to the Ninth Circuit Court in October of last year. There was 3 judges at the Ninth Circuit Court. There was oral arguments. What they did is, it took 2 months before we found out that they sent it back to district court here in Billings. Right now, this coming Friday, there's going to be a couple Crow tribal members, Fort Belknap, Northern Cheyenne. There's a deposition going on in Forsyth, and of all places, Forsyth. And I'm going to share with you guys a little bit of what happened with the lead plaintiff's daughter just recently, within the last couple of weeks. Ashlyn Klunutuk Dachtuk. They handcuffed her all the way to Forsyth. Forsyth, so this is how intense this case is getting. And believe it or not, I always have to pray over my kids, because this is really big. It's a national case, it's a national issue. And we've got co-tribal plaintiffs that are involved. What they did to his daughter is, when she got there to the jail in Rosebud County, they maced her face. She blacked out. Next thing she remembers, they were pouring buckets of water on her. And this is what I say about the local counties. I grew up here on the reservation. I graduated in Watch Grass. And this is some of the stuff I continue as an activist, if that's what you want to call me. I'm always on the, you know, sticking up for the Native constituency. And just yesterday, I was talking to Knut about this. You know, there's stuff that are going on in Hardin, but sometimes some of us close our eyes and don't want to see it. But a lot of this stuff is happening. Like I said, we regressed back in the 1950s and 60s, where back then they said no dogs, no Indians. I remember that. So where we're at today right now is about 3 weeks ago, it is Democratic Party in Asia with the plaintiffs, Mark Wandering Medicine, there was myself, the lead plaintiff, Mark Wandering Medicine, myself, Snuffy Maine, his real name is William Maine, and then we had Brett Healy. We had a meeting with the E-Board, which is called the Montana Democratic Party, the executive board, George Paul. And I sent a lot of that email and a lot of these documents. I sent them to Knut, and I CC'd Dukiana. What happened at that meeting was very appalling. It was very sad. And this is a lot, I mean, I've been through a lot myself. I mean, I deal with a lot of trials. I get through them because it's always trying to stick up for the Native constituency at the local, state, and national level. What happened was, when we went into that meeting, they wouldn't allow the media inside. It's in Indian country today, the whole, everything that happened took place on that meeting. What happened there was, they only allowed 4 of us in. Indian country today, journalists, they wouldn't allow the documentary team into the meeting either. They didn't want any exposure from outside. So Limalu, na Mark Wandering Medicine ko ilogili. Agis that they're bishop. I'm a veteran here. It could just sound chugi. Chuga over cousin. Idrik. And Brett Healy is a consultant for Board of Action, and he's been a representative and speaks a lot on behalf of Mark. Nabi Malwash, Vice Chair Gada, he wouldn't allow Brett to speak. And so Mark got up. In all reality, I was really upset. I was really mad. Haksel, look, Billy, I didn't want to talk, but I got up and talked. And I said, whether this turns out to be good or bad, it's going to go medium up, because we had the media outside. It was a resolution that Mark Wandering Medicine had and wanted the Democratic Party to support them. They didn't even look at his resolution. And that resolution was representing our plaintiffs and our tribes. Igisat, Montana Indian Democratic Party, Montana Indian Democratic Council. I used to be on that committee. But I resigned when all of this stuff started up because the manual glitches stuck. I resigned in 2012 because I knew the backside of things that were going on. Kagun Montana Indian Democratic Council, they did a resolution. And in this resolution, it was a moot resolution was what it was. It was everything that was already there in place. And but they actually highlighted to me that they were, basically after it was all over with. I also told them when I got up and spoke, and I said, the plaintiffs and the tribes have the Department of Justice, ACLU, National Congress for American Indians, Montana Wyoming Tribal Leaders, COLT. They have all these big organizations supporting the tribes and the plaintiffs. But yet, I said, there's something wrong with this picture. Ilale entirely. And what I seen was white privileged, because Ilkukuala was Jiguglan. And we continue to, sometimes we want to ignore what actually goes on, But as a director and as an activist, even out there in the urban area, we're continuing to fight because that racial profile and that institutional racism is still there. And we're even dealing with it. Snuffy Man got up and he said, I don't want to look at this as a racial issue here. They have a native on there, he's Little Shop, I forgot his name. But when they voted on the Montana Indian Democratic Council's resolution. They didn't vote for Mark Wandering Medicine's resolution. And it was really sad. We walked out. They commented me on Indian Country Today. My exact words were, the Montana Indian Democratic Council is party appointed. They do not represent the tribes. And where we're at today is this is going to be going in front of the district court here in Billings, Montana. And in all honesty, what I really like to see is support for our plaintiffs, our tribal plaintiffs. Because we can't continue to brush this under the table and think that it's going to go away. Racism's never went away. There's more white privileges out there now than there ever was. Like I said, we regressed back to the 60s. I just experienced it over the weekend in Billings, Montana, in Walmart. And I experience it every time I come into Billings, and I know for sure that all of you probably deal with it too. But one elder told me, look, we don't have to deal with it, we go back to the reservation. But yeah, I have to deal with it. I made that choice to live in an urban area. And with my kids. And there's a few times I fought against the system, the school districts, the police department. But I did it the right way. I did it using their own policies against them. And we won. It's just like a lot of us sometimes don't want to step up. And as an organization, we do a lot of social, racial, environmental issues. So when Four Directions wanted us to help them, we stepped up as an organization here in the state, supporting the tribes and the plaintiffs. We don't do a lot of work in the reservation. We mainly do a lot of work in the urban areas. So, with that said, I did send out a lot of these documents. I gotta check out my motel room here in about 25 minutes. The documents, I sent them off to Canute and Dookie.
You have a deal with their body.
Okay. And a lot of that stuff is in there. In the last, a lot of the briefs that Brett Healy did, he sent them to Montana Tribal Leader. And also the letters that went back and forth between Secretary of State, Four Directions, George Quintana, and they're all there. They're okay to share, because if they weren't okay to share, I wouldn't forward them to you guys. But you know, there's a lot of other work we do at the local, state, and national as an organization, and there's more I could go on and talk about, but. And I was telling Canute about that. At the state level, in all honesty, you guys need to hire a lobbyist to speak on behalf of the tribe. There's a lot of things happening at the state level that you guys don't see. At the state level, they're attacking our sovereignty. And in all reality, we're not sovereign. What happened when the government shut down? The tribe shut down too. Because we're non-sustaining. We're non-sustainable. If we were self-sustaining, we wouldn't have to shut down our own tribal government. And at the state level, they are attacking our sovereignty. There's little small bills that come out. In 2011, we did, as an organization, same Secretary of State, at that time she was not Secretary of State. She brought up a bill, and it was a vote by mail-in, which would have shut down all the polls. They didn't notify the tribes. They didn't notify the tribes that these polls were going to be shutting down if this bill would have passed. What they were going to do was this vote by, what we call VBM for short, vote by mail. That bill would have passed and not notified the tribes. On election day, then everybody would have found out. And we went and opposed that bill in 2011 as an organization. We opposed the bill. In the committee, it passed. Here within a 24-hour period, there was 9 Republicans, I think it was, turned and took their vote and said no to it, because we were there as an organization and opposed the bill, and it didn't pass. So that makes me wonder, where is Linda McCullough's agenda? Even now, fighting up against the Indians. And like I said, she was trying to withdraw from the lawsuit the other day, and they wouldn't allow her. It was in the Billings Gazette. She was trying to back down, and the judge wouldn't do it. Judge Malloy wouldn't do it. We've got the documentations to that. And it was too late. She was asked a while back, last year, to back down from the lawsuit or go out the back door, and she wouldn't do it. And this was just a couple of weeks ago, it was in the Billings Gazette. A lot of this stuff I'm talking about is in the media. And this is where the communication process and getting information out to the tribes doesn't get there. And that's why I say, as a tribal member, we need a lobbyist at the state level to get all this information, share it with the tribes, go back to the tribe. This is what's going on. This is what bill passed. This does affect us. So with that said, I'll leave my contact information. A lot of this stuff and a lot of the work we do, our website's still in the process. We do have a Facebook page called Indian People's Action. And the website's still in the working process. And I've been in this position for 6 years now. So I really appreciate your guys' time.
I think Duke has a question.
Okay.
일하게 지금 actually a request there is what do you want us to do? It seems like I know it's informational, but I see that others I get resolutions for the meal on behalf of the satellites. I think that's what you're asking us to do.
I did ask that, a resolution coming from the legislature to support the plaintiffs. And I really don't know as your policy and procedures in regards to doing resolutions to support a certain issue.
Like a support letter or something on this body, I believe.
Yeah, I believe we could probably do it in our, I think that would be better. What it is legislative resolution where the body is making a statement. It's not a bill or anything, but it's a legislation that we, just like Colt, when they did it in DC,
Yeah.
they did that resolution in support of the plaintiffs.
Yeah, and Co-Tribe was on there.
Yeah, I remember I was there, so, Conrad has a question.
Let me ask,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Olemme crucial alahium again philosophy, and that's Melvin.
Vote by mail-in.
Yeah, vote by Melvin. The school board level, real Washgrass go to Kunkan. And the policy is what she's saying is that at our local level, school board today, Bapuraja. Yagi Washgrass and Kodu, me cook the Bath, Hita, Bapuraja, school board today, took a Caprera, yeah, Caramelian, ballots, no, mail, we do, duck root, school board election, pretty get out there, nowadays over that. But, elementary school, elementary school, one book, but by the I get go to start. Later, not to book, but that there, just picture of him. We never overstay. Yeah, again, national level war, overstay is important. Ada Pulukade, can go here again, one way shows the heat, I got mail always on the other side of mail, just be mediocre. And code the deadlines, what is it? And none, get popular, I was thinking, last week, I get a little tight. So,
Yeah. And then the thing about it too is right now, you guys as local county commissioners are also under the lawsuit
Anything on my phone?
at Bighorn County. They are under the lawsuit. And you got 3, 4 in the county commissioner's office. So, as far as that's concerned, I mean, I don't vote here. So, the fact is, I mean, you guys need to call up your counties and start asking them why they did what they did. Your local county, your local Bighorn County. Why are they refusing these satellite offices when they should be in favor in supporting these satellite offices? Because like I said, at the state level, within the next 10, 20 years, if possible, we can have an Indian sitting up there in the governor's seat. To get out the native vote in each of these reservations, you've got, like I said, Northern Cheyenne, Crow, and Fort Belknap. And like I said, on the average, each reservation has anywhere from 5 to maybe 13,000, maybe more on per reservation. And if we're able to get each and every one of our tribal members, 18 on up to vote, do you know what difference that could make at the state level, even at the local level? And we did send out a petition too, and we blasted it out like a couple of weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, we sent out a national petition as an organization. And we had asked our national affiliates, because we do have national affiliates.
Question of privilege.
Yeah, we're not in session yet, because you wanted to do a presentation before the session, that's why.
Well, I just didn't want to
Yeah,
interrupt her, I know she's got a lot of good information here, I just want to ask her a question.
okay, go ahead.
I mean, you're kind of preaching to the choir here, we're on your side.
Good.
So, I just wanted to ask a question. You stated that, there was legislation passed and in a 24-hour time period, blah, nothing. We never heard, you never gave us what happened.
What happened is
And
those 9,
Hang on.
go ahead.
And so I wanted to find out exactly, okay, now that this legislation has been voted on, what does it affect, what happens, and when did it happen? Because, I mean, I don't know, I mean, if it's anything that pertains to supporting natives and in general the Crow tribe, then of course, yeah, I'm for it. But my question is how does this affect us? I mean, when you're talking about satellite offices, I know Pryor's got a voting place, I know St. Nick's got a voting place, Lodgegrass got a voting place, I vote here in Crow, so I go to the Crow schools, so, I mean, what's the big deal?
What the big deal is, it gives you 19 days extra to vote at these satellite offices, just like the local counties. Like people in Wyola, you know, there's no equality there when you look at it. Equality when Bickerton County has 19, 21 days to vote, they can go
Before the day of the vote.
in. Before general election day.
Like us, we vote on that day only, but, see, there's the day of the voting, like you and I go in, but if we have a satellite office, the advantage would be we can go and vote 19 days before the day of the vote. is what she's
All through
saying.
that time period.
Yeah, so we have that advantage where we don't have it right now. That's the problem.
So is that just because we're Indian, or what's the deal?
That's
I mean,
a fact.
You're telling us, I mean, we're all Bighorn County residents. I mean, I'm asking a question, it might be stupid to you because you know what you're talking about. But I'm asking a question, might sound stupid, but I ain't afraid to ask a stupid question, because right now, I'm a Bighorn County resident.
Yeah.
What does that mean to me? I mean, shouldn't I have 21 days? Or are we making a fuss? I don't know, that's why I'm asking you.
No, how do you feel? Like I said with these, let me use an example. All right, we only got 1 day to vote here on primary and general. Okay, Bighorn County at the courthouse has 19, 21 days before the general election day and the primaries. They can go to the courthouse. These farmers, these ranchers, they all go to the courthouse to vote. Okay, say they got business to take care of at the store.
And we can't, or what's the deal?
Yeah.
So we can't go to the courthouse and vote within those 21
You can
days?
go to the courthouse, but that's another issue. We don't have a lot of our people going into Hardin and, you know, just slowly dancing in there, go to the courthouse and vote.
Just,
Yeah. Some of them don't have insurance, driver's license.
see, what she's trying to say is, rather than be able to go to the Hardin, have to go to Hardin to vote, they're fighting for a satellite office here, so we can have that, so we don't have to go all the way to Hardin to vote, we can do it right here in the Lodgegrass at the courthouse, in Lodgegrass.
See, the reason why I bring out this point is this, is that when you're bringing all this stuff out, I think we need to get right down to the point.
Yeah.
Because basically what you need to go out there and say, tell the people is this. The white guys got 21 days and they get to go to Bighorn County Courthouse to vote. You don't. But all we hear about is, oh, we don't have a satellite office. What does that mean to us? I mean, really, if you really think about talking to the common crow or common native that's out there, what does that mean to you? Are you making it a moral issue?
No, it's
It
not.
doesn't mean nothing to anybody.
It's really not a moral issue.
And so what I'm trying to say is this, is that in order for to sell this, the people need to understand that, hey, they're being mistreated here. They're not being treated the same. But then again, if you really think about it, you gotta play devil's advocate here, thinking like the white guy does. You know, he lives on the reservation. Now, he'll get to use this satellite office too. Just like he has to drive to the courthouse within 21 days. We have that right to drive to the courthouse within 21 days to vote. Now, in order to make it a selling point, what I want to suggest is that not only is this pilot voting booths or whatever it is, just for the natives, it should be a selling point for the white guys too, you see? Because if you think about it, in all fairness,
Yeah, and they have that choice to do that. They're not excluding other people, you know. They can utilize it too, there's no problem to that, if that's what you're asking.
no, that's not what I'm saying here.
Huh?
What I'm trying to say here is that you're telling us that everyone has 21 days. I never knew that till you just now told me.
Are you serious?
And so, we never knew we had 21 days to walk into that courthouse and vote. Every day, on a given day, we go through there. Even the guys from Pryor, they have to drive through there. Now, they can swing by and vote. I don't know, if they want to. But had we known this information, maybe the ones that catch a ride that don't have insurance or gas money or transit can swing by and vote. I mean, it's simple.
Yeah,
But see, that information was deprived from us until I just now heard that we have 21 days to vote prior to the day of the election.
and it's also section 2 violation of the equal voting rights at a national level. That's why Department of Justice, ACLU, and all them are involved.
So I'm just saying that if I didn't know, how can we convey that to our constituents?
Well, see, that's why
And
I'm
so-
here today.
Yeah, now we know. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Just one quick one before Dookie, I mean, while we're on the subject is, the language, I mean, that's new to me also. I didn't know I had 21 days before to go vote for Martin. I mean, honestly, I think that's what the rest of my constituents also, they're unaware of, but I mean, language wise, what does it state actually?
what do you mean, what does it state?
I mean, what does the language say I know we're fighting for satellite services right now, but currently, what does the current language say?
What's going on right now is the counties do not want these satellite offices because they're putting barriers up as far as, the cost. And they did that in 2012 because it went before the district court and the judge that was there was Judge Siebel. And he said no to these satellite offices. And from there, they appealed, it went to the Ninth Circuit Court. And it's still it's a pending lawsuit is what we're talking about right now. It's gonna go back to district court in Billings. And the only reason why I'm here is it's an informational meeting. Everything is already done, black and white. It's a lawsuit against the Secretary of State and the 3 counties, Bighorn County, Rosebud County, and Blaine County. And like I was telling you about that incident, that girl that got, you know, we only seen these and heard this stuff in the movies, but it's all popping back up. And it's not gonna get any better. You know, we're hoping it would, but like you said, you know, satellite offices, as far as the language is concerned, I sent all those documents so that you guys would have had, and you'll still be able to go back and see them if you got them through your email. And the battle is, we want equal access within reservation boundaries.
Okay, so I understand the litigation process is gonna take a while, right? Correct? It's maybe
It's
how far
happening
out?
in June.
June, okay, so I mean, these current elections are coming up, these county elections. I mean, that's good to know for us, for these current ones that are coming up too, that we do got that option, like the rest of the county does, that 19 days maybe.
When we win.
No, current, I mean, right now, currently, I mean, that's new to me, so hope, I mean, I'm hoping we win this case. But currently, the way it's written right now is still got the 19 days, the option, not the 9 days.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, oh, okay, what you're
So-
trying to say is taking advantage of it. No, yeah, it can
Yeah, so
actually
I
be
mean-
taken advantage of,
I'm gonna go out there and tell them, you can go out and vote 19 days before, so,
to the courthouse.
yeah, that's, so, I mean, that's,
But there was a situation I just heard in Bighorn County, just yesterday. The police officers are stopping cars. And,
Point of order, let's
Go ahead.
stick with the.
okay.
Okei, jag sitter birogavar själva hästar. Jag bidrar med information meeting was fag HO själva coaching hästar. Det går här, jag är Mars försida. I Bighorn County. 19 days. أخبرت them Bob أخبرت them كوكوغاغرا فوق بروجيرو قديم ماجي. Jag är djup, det gör så. The Juve right to the point. Ayahta gajik hit. Masabat. Jag går jag går the margera, jag går nalaj. It jag är big mapura shawajver. Jag är Koabe folk protest kotastar ge chichuche grustarer dot county courthouse gong pop konaha. Maui mas you. That's the advantages to that. It doom and gloom garajir. Bakti jitigaji because bakhbage bi kaga bi koga. Bare bukh chiwoka. And his state jag biru bare gör sam karagoy. Hey, a mile awa will go court today. A mile awa will karishkiwan. This year, what's your plus will go 9 months. But anyways, hey, a jail kulu hey, idios got but Zahirage, Ashpate, Erita, could take your satellite office, could it? But Tula, deal 19 days ahead of time. The road vokata will redeem us. Him you. Iraq tire, a medico, a teacher, a hage dama. Linda McCulloch, it's already state law, Tim, but he is. And when I got you, gonna just say, they go. But Bob gave to you, because Hage, but here, I get the cut by you. Mafkola say Zalo get Masabat, the great preachers for thee. You're a preacher. And pick him on page him. I don't tired, you're on the cut make them preachers for their souls of saved, but they were a part of you, go each of you. Yagi, you looked at.
Do you think I would have saved you? No, just kidding.
I'm already saved, so you're okay. Thank you, Bob, he makes me pray. Anyways, I'll stay to the point, but, you go staging.
I
Yeah.
guess I was assuming that everybody's seen all the documents that I sent. So nobody, I mean, they're there if everybody got them. So I was kind of thinking that everybody already got the documents, I didn't need to spend a whole lot of time. But I'm sorry, you know. I'm hoping that you can, you know, read further into it. Good thing is COLT, which is, Co-Tribe is a part of, is supporting the tribes in the Plimpton. So we've got a lot of Native organizations out there that are supporting the tribes in the Plimpton.
Okay, Connor has.
Mr. Speaker, you know, I didn't wanna get up all in your.
It's
grill like
11
that.
hours.
I just wanna let you know exactly, I know you're used to this, and as friends here, you're amongst family, but like what I was saying is that, you know, I always kinda wanna put the shoe on the other foot and try to understand how the other one's thinking. So then that way, I don't operate on emotion, and I'll look at what they're thinking, and so then that way, I'll understand my surroundings and I'll establish my approach.
Mhm.
So then that way, I approach a situation with diplomacy,
Mhm.
and then we can find solutions. And so, with that being said, my suggestion like what I stated, what Dookie had stated was that, you know, it's real easy for us natives to get glossy eyes and goes out one ear and out the other, and we don't see the importance of everything you just said. But if you come to the people and say, Salaga, you only have 21 days to vote, or you have 21 days as an advantage to vote prior to the day of the election. Did you not know this? And if they didn't know that, well, now they do. Okay, where do we vote? Yellowstone County, you guys go to the Yellowstone County Courthouse right now. Bighorn County, you go to Bighorn County Courthouse right now. Right now, I'm fighting for pilot satellite offices for each and every one of us here. But in the meantime, until then, that's where you go. Yellowstone County, that's where you go. And if you need a ride, we'll take you. If you don't have insurance, we'll take you. We'll make arrangements. And right now, they'll understand what you're saying. And so then that way, they don't have to miss out on that day, because not everybody has gas money every day.
That's one of the,
And so, and then not everybody has insurance cards every day, you know? And not everybody has a vehicle or a ride. And so, that was my thoughts. Okay, now that I know, they know.
mhm.
And so now that we know, now we can tell the constituency. Because right now, that needs, what you're telling us is very important, and we need to get that out there. So if we have an advantage of 21 days to get to Hardin, I think within that 21 days, somebody could probably swing by a courthouse. You know, I mean, you know, and if they don't, then sure, we'll find a ride for them. We'll see what we can do. But right now, what I'm trying to say is that if the white man's gonna say this, and he's probably already said it. If I have to go to courthouse, then they should have to go to courthouse. You know, that's what I was just getting at as I stated, as the devil's advocate, what they say.
Exactly.
And so, what I'm suggesting is why don't we display the problem and then find a solution? And so, in the meantime, now everyone that's from Bighorn County can go to the Bighorn County Courthouse 21 days prior to the
And that's
election.
everybody on the rest, that's everybody on the reservation.
Yeah, and then except for Yellowstone County, there's a big chunk there. And so then they can go to Yellowstone County, but, you know, anyway, with that being said, I think that's a solution, and then how we find a solution to, I don't even know what the resolution that McCullough put out there says, so, I was aware of some of the.
Yeah, it's all in your document, everything
I,
that,
I guess I'll look for it, but I'm glad I see a lot of resolutions here or letters of support, I guess.
Yeah.
And a couple of resolutions,
mhm.
but, Mr. Speaker, I think this is, attainable. I mean, we need to pursue a legislative resolution of support on behalf of the issue here at hand, from the Crow legislative branch.
Yeah, we talked about that before you came in.
And
That
then,
was one of the avenues to do it. Anyway, when we went back, about a month ago, when I went to DC with, Darren, this thing was presented by Mr. Healy, who was talking about, but Healy, we met with him that morning before we went on to the COLT meeting. And he talked with Darren at that time, and Darren was in support of, the resolution that the COLT was going to introduce, and he did, vote yes on that. But, that's just part of the history of that. And then now, on our part, I guess, we will probably develop a resolution, a legislative resolution here in support of, the plaintiffs, and I guess what we do need is a list of the plaintiffs that we could document within the resolution. I hope Michael and Thomas, you have one more.
One real quick note. This is a precedented case right now at the national level, locally, state. There's 10 western states that are watching this case. You have tribes that are actually going to these court hearings. We had the Thule tribe at the Ninth Circuit Court hearing in Portland because they're supporting. And the reason why they're watching this case, and it's all the 10 western states, including Alaska, is because of the fact that once this case passes, it's a precedented case, they can do that within their tribes. So, but that's it. And thank you for taking the time and giving me the time to be here to speak. And I do speak Crow. I kind of kept it at my comfort zone because I don't speak a whole lot of Crow out there. I live in the urban area. But with that said, thank you. And I'm glad you guys, I hope I was informative. You guys have a lot of documents on hand.
She lived over in Butte. We have a quorum now, so I guess we could, take roll call and start proceeding with the, April quarterly session. Need somebody else to come in and knock.
Question of privilege?
We're,
Mike, stop here.
Mike's not here, no, we have 6 that we sent off to get replaced. They should be here this week sometime.
Come in.
Testing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the time is now 11:10, April 7th, 2014. I call the session to order.
Sure.
Ekolish, naciągałeś, naciągany, komu, Benson. Oh, okay, roll call, great, see.
Yeah, Black Lodge. Rogers, Black Lodge.
Stewart, Black Lodge.
Yo, Manuhoda.
Burton Ground, Center Lodge.
No meaning, mighty few. Valley of the Chiefs.
Rowan. Okay.
Oh, dude, he's a put a charge here.
We're going, get going.
Sparrow, Bigler. Deep Creek and Arrow Creek.
Goes ahead, Wapwa.
Good luck, mighty few.
Stewart, Eagle Chicago.
Railbird, mighty few.
Old Cross, did check. 16 present. Oh, Pinchik, no, agad. Ratalo, Dikima, directly against Cole, we gave a chance on the floor before there was quorum. Gagan, Pinchik staff. Thanks for preparing, getting everything ready for us. Okay. For third order of business is review and adoption of agenda. Need a motion to adopt agenda.
Make that motion.
Motion by Eric Bergeron, second by Paul Hill. All in favor, raise your right hands.
Just give me $100. Give me $100 and then I give you a receipt.
All opposed? All abstained? 16-0-0. Review and adoption of the journal. January 2014 quarterly session, February 10th, 2014 special session, March 19, 2014 special session. Floor is nice. Hello.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the body. This time I'd like to make a motion to reserve number 4 and until, I guess it's ready. Okay, well, just bump it to the end of the session, huh? Reserve it for the end of this, the agenda.
Please second.
Second.
Eric Bergeron, second. All in favor, raise your right hands. All opposed? All abstained? 16-0-0. One of the things that I forgot to say during recognition of guests and visiting officials was I want to announce Mr. Victor Nomi's first session. Go ahead. Okay, at this time, reports, legislative branch, Speaker of the House. I will give a verbal report at this time and follow up with a written report. During our first 3 months here after the January session, one of the things that we did that you guys gave me permission to do was we bought the printer system. They delivered it last week. There's one here and one in the administrative officer's office, and the old one we put it into the legal office there. That's a tandem system which can copy 100 pages per minute. As I stated before, it was a $24,000 system. So we traded in the old system for $3,000, and it was knocked down to $21,000. And the money didn't come out of our budget; it came out of the economic development fund. which we passed back in special session. And we did ask them to take it out of that instead of our budget, so we saved that much at that part. Another thing we did was we purchased some desktops for the staff here, and they're, as you know, their desktops are probably like 8 years old as far as I know, or 9, or it's just for all. I think we bought some monitors for them. That was about all we did, but the hard drives are old. So we need to get current on those, which we did. I did a couple travels. One was February 3rd. CJ there, myself, and Eric, and a few others. We went to Bozeman, went to the Copper Creek Ranch, check out the indoor arena there. Just kind of had a review of it. The tribes potentially going to purchase a new arena of that sort, kind of reviewing it. The gentleman there that owns the ranch has a fund that you can apply for a grant to, and tribe is applying for a grant to subsidize the cost of the arena. Then on March 4th to the 7th, I went to Washington DC with Darren and Bill Labrador. That was the one who talked about the Colt meeting there. We had met with Colt for a couple of days, and then the last day we met with the White House staff, Department of Energy and Department of Defense. We were lobbying on behalf of the Coal to Liquids project. We met with Mr. Rocco Fiato there, and he was the one that presented his the metallurgy system in regards to coal to liquids. And on February 3rd, we swore in Victor there. That's when he first came on board. And March 14th, as you all know, we all met with the Secretary of Interior, Fort Smith, over at the Hydro project. On March 27th, Dane's staff came to visit with us. Jessica Flint and Amanda Peterman. They came in and introduced themselves. And Amanda Peterman is the tribal liaison on behalf of Senator Dane, or Congressman Danes. And on April 2nd and 3rd, April 1st, the veterans met at the Energy Summit and had a dinner with them there. Gerald attended and a few others, Eric, Conrad there. And then on 2nd and 3rd, Conrad and I were asked to sit at the Energy Summit. Our tuition was paid for by Cloud Peak Energy, which is why we were able to attend. And that was quite enlightening in regards to all the companies. Energy, who's who of energy was all there, and they were all excited to meet with us because of all the projects and ventures that are coming down the pipe for the Crow Tribe. We had 2 special sessions during the interim. We had one on February 10th and one on March 19th. Both times they were the JERs, the issues there were in regards to getting permission to spend some of the money from the Economic Development Fund, which is one of the requirements of that, that they do have to come in and ask for the drawdown with all the legislation or all the issues involved that are required of them to draw that money down. So that's a quick wrap up of my report for the interim from January session till today. So I'll give the floor over to the Secretary for his report.
Good morning, everybody. Speaker, members of the body. I guess the only things that happen as far as being a Secretary of the House is basically didn't go on any travel for a bit, but one of the main things that we're trying to work on is make it easier on our secretaries as far as keeping all the bills and JRs and in order. like I mentioned right before they did the presentation this morning is you need to keep all your old business. They already handed out a packet, and I think there's two bills in here that were from the January packet that you can transfer over to the old business that I see was which ones were they? I think it was the land leasing one, and then let's see. It might have been that Act Amendment Title 18. I think that was the other one. Those two bills you can transfer them to your old business packet, and you gotta just keep whenever we pass something in old business, you can take it out and file it someplace else. And especially the new one here, the new business stuff. If we keep these in committee, then you can just automatically transfer them to the old packet. That's the way we're gonna do it from now on, so that we don't have to make copies every session. And even though we're gonna get a fancy copier that makes 100 copies a minute now, so you could other than that, I'm just trying to learn a few things here. Oh, okay. Which one? Oh, it's the election one you gotta transfer over. And I think that one was the absentee vote age. That one you gotta put in your old packet. So choose to log, some of them, the cut book them, you can just put those back in and file it somewhere. You could ask, as far as this position's concerned, I've been trying to learn from Canute and Pat over there on how to handle things here, and I'm getting a lot of help from the secretaries. I've been kind of absent about the last month here, coming to the office, and I just kind of coming back, last week, trying to get into the groove of things again. But I appreciate your patience with me on that, and so and then your support too. I appreciate that, and just trying to get everything in order and trying my best to make things right over here. So you could cage. Oh, yeah, catering is that. You gotta let your whoever you're gonna cater, you gotta have them come in. They gotta sign up and give their menu. They gotta do a 1099 great meal. So they come in and meet with Bill. And Wednesday's Loyola. I think Brandon is gonna get a hold of our caterer for that, and then the list goes on. So next week, order Graela Sabela. So you get that in right away. Like today, supposed to be Harold Brent. But I don't know if I don't think he concurred to come in today. But we gave him that opportunity. He wanted it, so Laga who's bologna sandwiches, hey. So you please.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. We'll move on to the legislative committee reports. First one will be economic development. Chair Bryce Hugs is not here at the moment, so Mr. Rogers, do you have something to give us? I know you guys had a lot of meetings throughout the interim, so.
Mr. Speaker, question please.
All right.
I know we don't have the economic chair here, and with in the interest of moving forward, I'm already going to make a request because I have to finalize my report that I can move mine towards the end of the agenda for infrastructure and natural resources, and so.
Okay, you want to take that form of a motion for all the
Yeah. So
legislative committee reports?
Yeah, possibly. That's 3 out of the 6, so, I want to give time, so now we'll make an informal motion for legislative branch committee.
Maybe your committee's that, I think Bryce will probably just saying that, as soon as he signs it, we'll find
Okay.
out from him.
If I could maybe I could make a motion for natural resource infrastructure
Okay, go ahead.
to move to the end of the agenda. And
Okay, need a second?
I'll second.
Second by Eric Bergeron. All in favor, raise your right hands. All opposed? All abstained? Sixteen zero zero. Okay. Bryce, I at that, we're sticking to the legislative reports. And you're first on the agenda for your report.
Yeah, report for the economic development. To Speaker, Secretary, Lottie, we've been working on corporation codes for the last about 2.5 months. So, we got a recommendation to the committee, so, we got what, C-stores. Tomorrow we're having a committee meeting on the C-stores for the purchase for the Yellowtail Market, Fort Smith. And then prior, the 3 senators were pursuing a nonprofit too, so I got a recommendation for that past Thursday. So, that's about it. Oh,
Thank you. I know you were very busy during the interim, so I hope you can check. Okay, next on the agenda is the Finance Committee Chair, Carlson Gozahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Secretary, members of the body. At this time, the Finance Committee, we haven't met on anything since the new year. This is a downtime, but I know that it'll pick up. But there's an issue that will be coming up, and that's the travel budget. Right now, our travel budget is like, sorry, 147,000, we got 120,000, what's, the balance of it is, 57,000 circulation.
It's 40-something thousand.
Oh, 40. Yeah, 47, but, 47,000 instead of the 57,000. So, we need to, utilize on the, there's a couple of things probably we need to do. One of them is that we can look for money in other items, but I think we're really strapped for our budget as we passed it. So there's really nowhere else to really add more, make an amendment, a budget amendment is what I'm trying to say, to add more dollars to the balance of the travel budget. So what we all need to do is that we're gonna have to pick and choose. I know some of you have already exceeded, I think, we didn't really have a set allowable, but we have a total, and I think we set that out in your desk. So from here on, really, it's up to the speaker to, if you wanna travel, it's gotta be, some of you have exceeded, like I said, so we have to sit down and see who's gonna really travel, especially the chairmans have to be part of this. Who's gonna be going to trips and that? So at this time, I just want to inform you, in a couple of years ago, in about April or so, we had a moratorium of no travel throughout the rest of the fiscal year to September 30th. But we have 47,000 left, a balance, so we gotta utilize that among ourselves from here until September 30th. You know, what I want to convey to the body is this. The executive branch has a travel budget, they negotiate, and they can go. But there's 18 of us, plus our staff still have to go to trainings. And they haven't been to any trainings for the past 3 years, and this is the first year that they've gone to trainings. So we have to really tighten up and strap down on our travel now. So I know that the chairman always asks, which is good, but our budget, we have to really watch it. So I just want to convey that to you so that you would understand. And that's why, you know, it's good to travel, it's good to go to DC, but DC is the one that costs a lot. It costs about $3,000. And another thing that I like to convey also is this, when you're going to a travel, especially if it's a conference or something, we have to pay that cost for the conference. And if you don't want to go ahead of time, you got to make ample time, about 2 weeks in advance, that you're not going to go and let Bill know. That way he can cancel everything. But if you cancel at the last minute, we're losing money. We can't get that money back. We can't get reimbursed for that. So that's something that you're going to have to, it's for your information. So like, okay, one of the reasons why I didn't go to DC was there was already a lot that was already going. So I backed out right away. And so that way I know that we can save money. And so that's just one example. But when it comes to travel, I wish our travel budget was like maybe 300,000, 250,000. But we don't have that luxury the executive officers have. So that's one thing that's reality. We started out when, oh man, about 5, 6, 7 years ago, our budget was like 40,000, 30,000. So you had to be, you know, we didn't really travel. So, you know, 120,000, I think, what is it? 140, that's for last year, guys, or one of those years. But anyways, so we had to, you know, the committee chairs, we had to sit down together, and we had to also pass that travel policy now. I'll work on it and get it passed, so that at least we have a policy to follow.
Okay, floor is 100.
Mr. Speaker, Secretary, members of the body, Mr. Chairman of the Finance, I just wanted to, we did talk with Cloud Peak, and I talked with Bill about this, that, myself as Chairman of Natural Resources, we cover energy, and then as the Chairman of the Finance, I guess informally, kind of trying to request a meeting to sit down, because I know I've requested this a while back, and I know Eric brought it up too, about, you know, Senator Burnham, but it has already been approved, you know, a while back, and we needed to get all the travel concerning the issues around this new tax production credit, and the issues concerning travel around the export issues, because we did a lot of lobbying, and now, like you know, for example, when we went to Coeur d'Alene, now they sent me, the executive branch, asked me to stay, and you know, Luke likes to tease me because every day it's like Groundhog Day. We leave and then we have to come back, leave and we have to come back. But we went ahead and stayed throughout the duration, we were successful, but now when it's time to pay the bills, they stuck it over here, and at the same time, they're the ones that handled the travel over there with their credit cards and whatnot. And they took the receipts and everything, and then now they're sticking me with the bill on reconciliation. That's just one of them. And so I don't, I think that's wrong, but that's another issue. The issue at hand that we have here is that Off Peak has already agreed to reimburse us for these travels. We're fighting tooth and nail on the export issues. We're going to Denver again. I mean, and then, I don't know if you knew about this, Mr. Speaker, and others, but we gotta be at the AT&I one on the other side of Tacoma. I forgot what the area is. That's another issue, because they're presenting a resolution to stop the transportation of fossil fuels, and they're trying to bring that again to the floor. And we see these are the continuing efforts that we need to bring forward, and that was part of my, reason why I was out this weekend, was to make those connections with 3 affiliate track. And I already talked with Mike Finley from Colville. So concerning that issue, I think we need to pursue that. We've talked about it, and I know it just went as far as that. We need to submit these, and if anything, Duke and I can sit down together with Bill, we can go over it with you, Mr. Speaker, and then I can personally give it to our buyers and then following the session, and we need to get reimbursed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Secretary, and members of the body. Good morning, like here's Conflict Commission. If you guys let me know ahead of time, you need to go ahead and pay for your expenses and give it out to stop being clean. So maybe that's not happening too. You need to, we know that there's a 18 night that fixes it. 아주 이유가 해주시고 감내료가 아주 그 지금이다. 아주 그가 해주 시주자 Senator Stewart. 보시야 아자 이 Conflict Commission let us know ahead of time and help you out, please.
Like Duke said, I think we need to prioritize these issues because sure we want to travel kind of sightsee a little bit, but a lot of times we can't. Duke Carlson knows that every time we go up there, CJ, every time we go to DC, we can have even some sightseeing. We're so busy hitting all the senators' offices, the congressmen. We don't even have time. We have to. And even in the evenings, we have dinner meetings. We sit with the lobbyists and we strategize and that. And we don't even have time to go see Lincoln Memorial or nothing. It is important. And one of the issues on reimbursements is if Cloud Peak does reimburse the tribe, I hope they reimburse our budget too. That's what we have to stay on top of. Make sure that money goes back into our budget rather than just a general fund and them building our budget. If you've got something good, I need to meet with Carla on that. Like what you said, I think we do need to prioritize these travels. We'll get together with each of the chairs and we'll all sit down and prioritize each of the travels. Make sure because we went through the travel budget on all the expenditures that has taken place. We had 120,000 for the fiscal year, and we broke it down just across the board. If everybody was able to divvy it up, there was like a $5,000 threshold, and many of you are already above and beyond that 5,000. So that way, if this reimbursement does occur, that would really help us a lot because with the way the budget is now, and we divvied it up, the way I figured it out, we would only each have like not quite two. I think it was like 1,800 a piece, and that's not even a lot. What Duke said back in 2006 when I first came in, our travel budget was 18,000, and we thought that was a lot of money. That next year we fought for we go to 30,000, so we killed him. Chance great deal, but anyway, we'll continue on. If Carlson's done, or go ahead.
All right, thanks, Speaker, Secretary, body. McCarthy is gaming. Gaming is a part of economic development, and to finish out what he started, secretary, Wilbur. He's gonna kind of speak on behalf of that on the reporting side and judicial, so. All right, oh,
Thank you, thank you. Duke, nothing, sir. Okay, moving on to Health and Human, Chair Pat Alden.
No, Mr. Speaker, members of the body, and Duke, Chief Joe. Now, Health and Human. I think we got a couple things on the agenda I wanted to report on. First one is, you guys know, we reorganized committees and broke down Health and Human into, there's certain categories in them. IHS is one of the biggest ones that we wanted to take a look at. First of all, and with that, Senator Burdenground serves as my vice chair also under Health and Human, and he's been real active in this part of IHS. And just to report a little bit on the first thing we had on the agenda on was the health board, that it was lacking. And I know we tried to get it started the past couple years, but we never did get it off the ground, and it's been struggling to get going. And we finally got that off the ground. I think we've got it going, and I know they're gonna try to come in here and during the session, I believe, during the executive cabinet part, and make a report on the health board issues. But I know they're active, and they're having a couple meetings a month, and they're moving forward. And just on the IHS portion, I'll turn the mic over to Senator Burdenground. He's got some other issues and concerns on IHS. Then I'll take it back and I'll comment on the social services issue that we had earlier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Vice Secretary, Pat, Chairman of the Health and Human. One thing that we're really moving forward with our IHS Health and Human. We're really going on that. We empowered the health board, and then Dr. Rulu, DC executive. We really stressed that all these services are being discontinued. OB, then surgery cut down too. There's just the other day we just got a report from area office, and they've Magalago financial report today. Well, doctors there, how many doctors see patients today on a daily basis today? We just got that report, and we're still going through it, trying to figure out a way. And I get Dr. Ruku last week today to IHS, and we're hoping that there's some changes there, and we're fighting through each and every day. How can we get those people accountable for? I'll give you an example. Commission officers, they have all. If you look at their reports, evaluation reports, you look at it, and it says all outstanding, good. If they're doing such a good job, why is it that our IHS is like that? You gotta think about those. And then how can we still push up? No, we want them to be accountable, but constituents, even workers today call every day is a daily fight. And so what we're planning to do is was talking with Legal J, House Court Executive, where is the problem? Area office, but the Hulk, yes, I will to area office is too top heavy. So how can we find out? And then senior senators go. Maybe it's time to do a legislative resolution that we need an investigation at the area office. Area office, full investigation, because they're starting to micromanage, you get crow. If you notice all the pilot programs, like a CAT scan, and we need to fight for those programs. So we need to maybe do a legislative resolution, the report goes to speed. Maybe during session we might do a LR, do a legislative resolution for a hearing or investigation at the area office. The process there, I'm learning as I go. I'm getting out there and trying to find out. That's what we're doing right now with IHS. And we're working on it. We're working every day. We're trying to find out new ways to have them be accountable. And what it just recycle we have same people that are in there that are you all know it. I think all know it that you somewhere down the road or features IHS medications. I get appointments today cooked out with you, so we're bringing those situations, those complaints into light with our health board, with executives health and you. Maybe it's time to protest these. Protest and get that word out. It's in our treaty. We paid for it. It's with our, so we can get that adequate health care. So we need to still keep up the fight. And then mental health. Mental health. We have a lot of issues about mental health. But parents and we're finding those solutions to get a hold of again, who's responsible. BIA, they don't want to be responsible. State they don't want to be responsible. Well, we need to take control of our own kids of our we need a safe house too for the kids. So also those are just some of the issues that are still out there that we're facing every day. And we came up with a idea that we should have a call list. So, it's just in 48 hours, $700, 48 hours, we can call these people up, social workers, call relatives, they call try to get them into these homes. And just some of those issues that we're working on. And then we're moving along. Senator Alden, we're getting those and we're having those committee meetings. Later spoke we had the Cheyennes come over and House Board Code. We're trying to empower it and get moving on it. Because every day, so we are moving. Is there anything else?
Diabetes center.
Diabetes centers, who is meeting, last week they was meeting you. As you know that I've been diabetic for 6 years, that's 6 years.
To my niece at the tribal.
And
I
so
wanted
I
to
took
send
the time,
to my other niece what to do. She's at
Senator
tribal too. Her name's on my contacts.
8 o'clock today, come on, do this side.
Okay.
Last week they was meeting
And where do I
young
put her
people.
name?
And we went over there and executive functionality is
No,
very
she's in
important with
contact list.
diabetes. You guys are working for the people that are diabetics.
Right there.
So you're working. And get you to, but maybe this is not the field that you need to get into. Executive,
Oh, like that. Okay.
well, we
The other system is a little different.
again, you should be trying to promote these diabetes programs there should be somebody there. Make the effort to be punctual. I call you leave, yes, and it turned out to be a good meeting, and we got those issues kind of out in the open. That we need these. They don't show up until 15, 20 minutes late. So I got to sit in there and discuss those, and I think we're moving forward with that too. So I think just letting them hear our concerns with the diabetes. And so it's so anything else, Senator Alden? Enrollment? Hello.
Host.
Yes.
Real quick, Mr. Speaker. Concerning, surrounding the diabetes issues, can you give us your plan on the dialysis?
Dialysis, LHB appointed nursing board, and what happened was deficiencies. What happened was they almost shut us down, but then we never watched. They gave us a break state, and what happened was there was a traveling nurse that came in and did not document patient. One of the then I saw that they refused the insulin and they didn't document that. So when they didn't document the state, when they did their investigation in federal Gungkoluk, and they said, hey, show documentation that you refused them. So corrective action, first Jackie. First today's turning, we're good on that now. So it's a process, exit sign, that's it. So at that time, we're gonna talk on our next meeting about dialysis. And they did a feasibility study, of dialysis. And so we're going forward with that. And then we wanted to go to maybe talk with Shoshone Arapahoe's diabetes program. Look, they have a dialysis over there. So how come we get our dialysis back here? Get that going again. Every day, they go to Billings and look at them, every other day, Billings is stuck, dialysis, it's part of the way of life. So maybe we need to get our dialysis going. And Shoshone Arapahoe, they have grants. What do you do? And being football, maybe we need to get that going. Find out if they can do it, football, these guys are solid deals. Mike, you got nurses that want doctors, lawyers, we need to start taking care of our own. It's Glen Mosquito, only itself. Yeah, solid jobs, we could hire probably about 6, 8, 10 people over there if we have our own dialysis with grants. Well, grants too. We can hire nurses too. That's our goal on that with the dialysis. We're trying to find out how they get those grants, and we even talked about the nursing home having them write a grant. Because the executive side, so maybe we'll have the nursing home right there, grant, and then maybe we could get a new facility or something like that. Maybe we might have to spend some money a little bit, but it's all worth it. Diabetics, they go up charge, and it affects the kidneys. Kidney transplant. You probably know somebody at home, relatives, family members that are diabetes. So push it by so
I get it. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I get it when you're talking about hiring people in the Quilt tribe, these professionals like nurses and doctors and stuff like that. Did the tribe ever think about 630 80 IHS? hospital?
We talked about it and just a general consensus ibu tayo so around 638 kabul my ahead one of the professionals and just left we take over the power stars my we I get go see you I get what I look good you do the social 50% rule hot taji but well I help you area of state right off the top there even at Rock Hill. Yeah, I look, only 20% we got together. So when it's like that, if we have direct service care, I think it will just come straight to the tribe. Like, well, fuck, yeah, can we go ahead and do that? Can we go ahead, man? I already get stuck easy. Like, geez, how can we start moving towards that? Maybe we should start making a plan towards getting our IHS, hey, we don't get it right now. Maybe we need to start making a plan, maybe a five-year plan. Guys, hospital too. Maybe we get those monies back. That's a suggestion. That's but that's it.
I appreciate everything you're doing, Eric. You know, it's good to have you on board. And, you know, giving us that perspective on some of the issues. I know we've talked before, and, a lot of the different ones, when they come into office, they say they want to help with the youth, they want to help with the housing, they want to help with the health, they want to help with all these different important issues, natural resource development and all that. But a lot of times we tend to stray away from the agendas that we first have fought for. And so I appreciate that for bringing this up, because I know there's a lot of people with chronic diabetes on the Crow reservation, not just our reservation, but Indian country. And I'm sure you probably heard about the SDPI program was extended again, so we've got monies there. And it got its markup in the Senate Committee on Indian Affairs just like last week or a week before. I think it might have been a week and a half now. But we've got that. So I think, you know, everything you're saying is, you know, I think what we need to do, maybe your board, the board that you're sitting on there, I think it needs to have its own 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, as many grant writers as we need, because we need to start pursuing these opportunities. I mean, you see all these other reservations in there. They utilize disaggregate data to go after a lot of these annexes, like sports annexes and different areas where it prevents the diabetes, and then clinics and follow-up. And I know that we've talked about it before, where you can't get a good proper prescription on a diabetic because there's no follow-up here, and then these ones, their prescriptions are off and on when their sugars are high, they're low, they're never really normal. So when they get glasses from IHS, their prescription, that day that they got that eyeglasses, to maybe their prescription was, their sugar was high, so their eyes were looking right, and, you know, and those are some of the true facts that are, you know, really hurt us, because there's no follow-up here with IHS understanding that there's chronic diabetes out there in our communities, all the way to our 12-year-olds and younger, and then all the way up to our elders, and yet our elders are sitting in the waiting rooms, and if they leave to go to the bathroom, their names are called, they miss out, you know, things like that. And then I think we need to really pursue this area as far as diabetes is concerned. I know I shared it with you that in Seattle, when my dad when he got he's a recipient of a kidney. The doctor there had told me, he said, across the board, Indian country or not, non-members, he only does 100 a year. He's a surgeon. That's what he goes, you know, he does other surgeries, but on kidney transplants by themselves, he only does 100 a year. Think about that. And how many Indians do we have that are, you know, in Indian country, 566 really recognized tribes, and then there's some that are still trying to achieve status. So there's a lot of us out there, neighbors, and it's straight across the board. And I don't know if that this SDPI money is enough, but we need people to fight for the dollars. And you know, we all have you know, your perspective on the issue of diabetes is invaluable. And we need that here. We need to pursue that, you know. We have loved ones that are diabetic and, you know, we care for them, we want them to be around. And I think we've had some that have passed on, but we continue to fight, and that's our fight today, and I'm glad you're here to pursue this. I'm a supporter of it, you know, I think we do need to pursue one-stop shop for diabetes here on the reservation, just like St. V's did over there. St. V's did a one-stop shop over there. They have follow-up, they have prevention, I mean, they have everything, education, all the stuff, nutritionists. I mean, there's a full-blown team over there. And we need that here with the numbers that we have. I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't have it. Oh.
One thing about the dialysis was, one thing they brought up was, we don't have any educated nurses to run that, with the nursing home, you got benefits, beyond income. What they're saying is, we get the same pay, we can give them the same pay, but what happened is that IHS Group, they have better benefits, so we're losing our nurses to them. So, without it, we wanted to bring that into light, you know. And then they said, the nurses that do want to come over, I think, they didn't really say, but they were scared of the reservation fee. Yeah, so the nurses from Billings didn't want to come down over here. They made an excuse that it was too dirty. Just a lot of excuses that weren't necessary. And I think we need to start really looking at education, and get those people educated. That people that want to be in that field. But I'd say, what is that? What's that?
Florida is Paul.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, you got Conrad, I'll tell you, they become diabetes, chronic diabetes. And a lot of times, when I was officers, they most part, they don't know how to prevent the diabetes there. It's preventable. Again, hospital, everything's preventable. You know, by exercise and like in this time and date. They most probably cheap meals to hot charge. You know, we got escalators, you know, pizza, McDonald's, hot charge, carbohydrate good. And what's officers, you know, you look at things that need to be done on this reservation, like things that need to be followed. You know, SDPI, fitness. When people look at it, they think it's a fitness center. It's really a diabetic. It's where they help diabetics. And I don't know, they don't know how to read they don't know how to read their rules and regulations, or they don't know how to read a grant. But when they do a grant, they know what's going on. They don't come all out with you. They got diabetics there, they STPI. They on what's called backwards, but nurses I just I and you know, when you ever have or in the future we have a meeting, you need to bring that up. That they actually need to do their job of, you know, helping people on the reservation. That's not a fitness center. Like, you can't get a diabetic to do yoga. Like, yoga, muscles out of it too much. Insanity, because that's not good for the body for a diabetic. A lot of these people think that they can just go over there and get yoga or P90X or insanity and put it on a diabetic. Hey, Chris, again, los padres not paid off, you know, their muscles. They went for the dialysis because but you know, it's coming to a point is that I'm just letting you know that you guys that work at this committee or this Health and Human Services need to let them know that they need to really help diabetics. Eye care, foot care, you know, it's just not a fitness center. And that fitness center is made for diabetics, not for, you know, they could shut it down and make it for diabetics, so we got, but just to be prevention, they open it for the regular people too. But, you know, when you go back over there, just let them know that they need to start really doing their work, working with IHS.
Yeah, 그러게 요새 a lot of it is prevention, like being diabetic. We explain to them out there. I get like fitness center, Big Monica. I walk in there, they don't even address a lot of people. 어제 지지시켜요. when I walked in there, they didn't even be courteous a lot of times. When I brought that up at the meeting, you gotta try to sell people that you want them there. You're there because of me, my me diabetic. You wanna get me in there. You want me to go walking. You know, and a lot of it was employees that some employees didn't want to we addressed that last week. We addressed it in now we got to be on the same page. I told we had a good turnout and then they're getting an incentive too. I get Bozeman Powell, Xavier, the MSC Billings, Powell, they wanted to go to George Street. His rotate, make it work. Or somebody's over there. Things will get a lot of people, they have personality. They bring their personal issues to work. And we address that too. They're having drama at home or something, they bring it into the workforce. We address that too. Mental, spiritual, physical, we addressed it at that meeting. So we can get that diabetes program. Senator Hill, we had some problems, but we are addressing those and moving forward. You need to get out there. How many of you walk in here? Just walk. Any senators? We got just walking for walk, run, exercise. That's it. Just to let you know, thank you, Mr. Speaker, Secretary. Pat, go.
Thank you. Senior Senator,
Yeah.
say something.
Hey, I get diabetic, usually got safety. Diabetic, big of the 19 years ago, this hospital, we go to out of the hospital. Oh, one go to stroke, so I'm going to insulin, put her at bike, but we can test for a new. I don't know. We be a course, pious. Some, die overstuur ik maar ik, mijn man niet verwiezen, dus wie is voetbal? Nou, maar ik diabetic. Precies hebben we hummingbird, mama wiesertje, wie die overstuur. We maar een appointment voor een nieuw. Wanneer Anila dus wiezen we nieuw. Nieuw waarin wat gaan we doen? Nee, goed daar. We gaan naar de dokter dus ik wil mijn juice voor de bij begaan. Ik ga je nee, goed dus. Maar veel wordt je zo daar. Hier dat zo. Die doet het starten te doen. En maar meer is dus. Ja. Gewoon. Dit is toch een moeilijk. Dat is schwierig. Het is wat een nieuw. Die gaat er voor te gaan. Gewoon moet je zien. Nee, als je maakt dat ja, het is toch wat te zien. Wie het is. 那玩意是第一个是我有的口述的，第一个。在哪里都，你都是说别过来，我还给你我这个哦。
Oh, 우리 얘기가 also has mental, emotional, spiritual, 내가 내가 주가 그래 마음껏 이거는 내가 미국 사건 마거고사 스콜에 89년 스콜에 30, 40 다이제가 군 diabetes. So taking care of yourself, that's it's possible to live that long. Kun Porsche siya siguro sa Rio. Down was we're fighting out there for a house. IHS today, diabetes today, nursing home today. We're trying all those, trying to find ways that we can help with the possible. We're fighting.
What are you guys' comments?
I'm gonna make a request, to Senator Bertie Brown. I know he's already kind of, laid some groundwork there and let everybody know that we're watching. When the executive comes in, I know they make reports, but a lot of times the directors, the ones that are in the trenches right there, they're the ones that aren't doing their job. They're depending on different ones, they don't come on time. And then they expect their staff and everybody to come on time. And then they turn around and they reprimand and they get after people. But they never, like what you're saying, like what Paul's saying, like with that issue, being that diabetes is a chronic issue, I'd rather hear it from the directors, whoever's doing that. I think who is it,
Sunny, Wrong please,
I think if that's her job, to be the director, I don't wanna hear a hunky-dory pat on the back data boy report from Todd or Jacqueline. I think she needs to come in here and speak to those issues on her own self, because right now we've got a lot of issues and just like Paul said, you walk in there, I tried to go in there and I had to wait around for, for kids that probably go over there all the time, and you only have three walkers there, and there's only one brook, all the time. And, with the kind of money that we should be getting from that, and with the kind of numbers that we should be accumulating with all the data every day that we have a grant alive, we should be pursuing more money. Right now, you look at this, and it's only like little over 200,000 if you divvy that $150 million up in the SDP PI program. So if we're just getting the very minimum for some of these programs and then just buy a couple of equipment here and there, knowing full well that, hey, man, we've got a serious problem here, we should try to pursue some better action. And fun runs and walks are good every so often with awareness, but man, we need some serious follow-up, because, you hit the nail on the head, how many of us walk, but when we go over there, gee, it's plumb packed, and we don't, when is there a good time? And, right now, these folks here at the wellness, they said, $5 a day or $30 for a month, and at least you'll have a privacy over there. You don't have to listen to all that heavy metal crap that's going on in there, and you just go do your thing. But you shouldn't have to pay that when we get all this money coming in. And so I want to make a request. I'll probably send that to you through a form of an email. CC both the chairman and the speaker and secretary, and then ask that we have Sonny come in and make that report.
I think that's good. I think a lot of times these departments, just in my opinion, departments even relatives, cousins and stuff like that, maybe we need to bring them in here, the whole department, just not the director, but the whole department, and i-cool to everybody maybe department goes, it's just not just diabetes program, I'm talking about these other programs. Maybe if they come in and sit back there and maybe listen to us that we're getting complaints, or even to pat them on the back, guys, there's departments out there that do good, bring in money, but but I'll say, of course, just a suggestion, it's a great idea, okay, but.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call for recess until 1:30 and then finish up with your, and then we can finish up after lunch if you want, unless you want to say something real quick.
I mean, they can take 5 more minutes to finish up this top and main part section. I think,
I'll make that motion.
I mean, just going back to, now Senator Bergengrad, I think he's got a background on IHS, and he serves as the, vice chairman, that's his background, and he's passionate in that area, and he's actually kind of, taken it upon himself to look at these areas, and, well, look, Jim, then, I know we're sitting here sometimes, we have committee meetings, and we're dealing with casino, the revenue, we got the natural resource part of it, but then we forget about these important issues like we talk about diabetes, enrollment, education. I mean, you look in some of these committee meetings and there's 2-3 people here, and then I know every one of you guys campaigned on these issues. Well, I'll go. Chicken, now we had a meeting on social services on an issue that's it was actually a big issue, and it dealt with last state well, God, I'm too hard to go and state social services could come BIA called Jake they didn't go and pick up these kids because based on the jurisdiction they're lying, and they used to do it past practice dealers, and that brought upon a big meeting between the state social services, county, BIA, tribe, and we found out it's just a lack of communication, pretty much based on our BIA and our tribal social services, and then these kids sit in limbo, and then we wonder why that they're in state custody, because we can't even get our, I hate to say it, be blunt, but we can't get our shit together on our end and communicate and work it out. It's true. You guys gotta get involved. I mean, I asked every one of you senators to get involved in these and talk about follow-up meetings. Hey man, go check IHS issues. Yeah, we gotta. I know we're gonna solve every issue, but we look at solutions every meeting. And let's get with Senator Bergengrad and get some follow-up meetings and go through that. Next one on the agenda was the dumpster issue we had in Health and Human. I think it was brought up by Senator Goodluck from Well, and it was we got it through committee and it's gonna be on the floor. So we'll have to explain once that time gets hit. Education, Senator Robert. We kind of delegated education to Senator Robert. So go God, we got. Then we're done with Health and Human.
Maybe we should call for recess and then come back. It's 2 hours at RG on education, you all leave.
Alright, recess is both.
Need a motion to recess.
Motion.
Motion by Eric, second by Pat. Everybody wants this recess till lunch, say aye.
Hey, I got cut Coach Babe, so make your way over there.